Hi, last month's article and video titled "Is it time for Black people to rise?" generated a number of feedbacks. You can check out the video on this channel if you haven't already done so. Now, it is well documented that black people had to endure horrific and evil things, mostly at the hands of the Caucasian race. One comment asked what other races did to help while this was going on. When you think about it, there is little or no record of leaders or politicians of other races, such as Chinese or Asians, who spoke up to denounce the evil that was done to black people. Some of these other races not only kept silent, but took advantage and quietly colluded with the Caucasians against black people. For example, in the 1970s, many East African countries were alarmed when Asians financed by UK institutions started buying businesses, land, and so on in East African countries. This issue was more acute in Uganda. In early August 1972, the president of Uganda, called Idi Amin, expelled the Asians in his country, giving them 90 days to leave, fearing that they planned to take over his country and other East African countries with the financial help from UK institutions. Most of the Asians had British passports and had to return to UK. The fact is, UK and Europe have not been the same since that event. Even at the present time, other races are still taking advantage of Africa by taking its natural resources and labor without paying the proper cost for it. Many say that the situation now between China and African countries amounts to taking advantage of Africa. Needless to say that the Caucasians are not only still taking advantage of Africa. The recent quarrel between Italy and France over Africa is an example. But it was the Caucasians who started the transatlantic slave trade, during which Africans were taken as slaves on ships to Europe, the Americas, and the Caribbean islands. These African slaves suffered horrendous treatment at the hands of their Caucasian slave masters, and many died or were killed in the ships and were then thrown overboard. Yet, Africans are being told in the Caucasian history books that it was William Wilberforce, the British politician, who saved the day by leading the campaign to stop the slave trade. The push for the white savior mentality started a long time ago and is still going on up to the present time. Now, Africans will have to start writing their own narratives from their own perspective and not let other races write their stories for them. African slaves built Europe, the Americas, the Caribbean islands, and the Western world as a whole, and these African slaves were not paid for their labor. So, technically, Europe, the Americas, the Caribbean islands, and the Western world belong to the descendants of African slaves until the descendants get paid for their forefathers' labor. You may ask, how do they get paid after more than 200 years of unpaid labor? Well, I suggest that apology, reparation, and the promise of undertaking that slavery and abuse will never happen again should be part of the discussion or negotiation. I hear now that this process has started. Reparation money should be used wisely on things such as bringing living conditions in African communities in the diasporas and especially in the African continent up to adequate and acceptable standard. So, tangible and durable things such as infrastructures should be part of the things done with any reparation money. The Holy Book said that a worker must get paid each day for work done. Otherwise, the employer has committed a sin. This is in Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 15. So, what price do you put on more than 200 years of unpaid labor? Okay, I have sidetracked slightly. Let's continue with the subject. In religious and spiritual terms, the Holy Book tells us in James chapter 4, verse 17, that it is a sin to see evil and say or do nothing. Habakkuk chapter 1 verse 13 says much the same thing. Therefore, the other races who saw the evil that black people was going through at the hands of Caucasians and yet said and did nothing, and in some cases even quietly colluded with the Caucasians against Africans, according to the Holy Book, this is a sin, and God or the Most High may have a punishment for such sin. As for the evildoers, the Holy Book tells us that God or the Most High do not like evil and will surely have severe punishment for evildoers. Now, someone commented that these other races were in no position to help black people as they too were also oppressed. For example, both India and China were also colonized by the Caucasians. If this be the case, and it is, then maybe they should not or will not be punished by God or the Most High. Now, let me put it to you this way. We, as black people, must be able to look at ourselves in the mirror and like what we see and love what we see. If we cannot do this, then we should not expect other races to like us and love us. It's as simple as that. It boils down to loving one another. It may not be easy right now due to years of pain, suffering, and disappointments, even at the hands of our own people. Also due to years of conditioning and brainwashing, and due to colonization, both mentally and physically. But we will get through this, you and me. I will talk to you again soon. Go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel and click on the notification bell so that we will notify you when we upload new videos. What do you think about this subject? Do other races have anything to answer for regarding our ordeal? Leave your comments and I will read all of them, and I will also try to reply to all of them. I urge you to subscribe to our monthly magazine called Good Alternative. And this is what it looks like for this June 2019 edition. I don't know if you can see it properly. There are lots of articles in the magazine which you might like. Our email address is on the description below, and the magazine is absolutely free. All you need to do is to let us know if you want it sent to you via email or WhatsApp. Okay, I will speak to you again soon. Take care of yourself, and bye for now.